The first ever gay pride march took place on the first anniversary of Stonewall in 1970, and Lilli Vincennes decided that she wanted to capture it and make a film titled Gay and Proud.
This is remarkable as a film because it's a piece of American history. This was the beginning of a militant gay pride movement, and Lilli Vincennes captures it on film for the very first time.
She has recorded a history that without her work would remain untold in many respects.
Lilli's story is one of such bravery. She was so ahead of her time. She was very bright, very gifted, and very beautiful. She got kicked out of the army because she was a lesbian.
Almost immediately after she was asked to leave the army in the fall of 1963, she contacted Frank Kameny and the Mattachine Society of Washington. And only a couple years after that, she became the first lesbian to march in front of the White House for gay equality.
She was remarkable in her willingness to step forward, to be out there. It was, after all, still dangerous in the early 1960s to be known as a homosexual, and Lilli didn't seem to give a damn.
I prize and cherish and respect not only those participants in activism, but those who recorded it so people like me, decades later, could learn about them and learn about our history. Lilli is one of those prescient individuals, courageous individuals who made that possible.
Part of Lilli's activism was she made documentaries about her own activism and the activism of the Mattachine Society of Washington. Lilli organized a group of 6 people to help her film this 1970 film, Gay and Proud, in New York. And it was capturing the first annual Christopher Street Liberation Day march. And her team was able to actually march with the rest of the demonstrators. Lilli used a 60mm black and white camera, and it resulted in an 11.5-minute documentary that is really the first of its kind.
This film captures pride and captures the willingness to be out in the sunlight in great numbers. They're marching and dancing sometimes, and they're chanting, and they're defiant. And this is a remarkable film because this captures a whole new movement.
I remember coming out when I was in college. I tried to read up on history of the LGBTQ movement. I remember at the time seeing some documentaries. It gave me a deep appreciation of some of the pioneers who did courageous things when few others were. And also the fact that some of those things were documented allowed somebody like me, many years later, to find a family that I didn't know I had as a member of a larger community.
The crowd started very small, but as they moved towards Central Park, it got larger and larger as people watching from the sidewalks realized that nothing bad was going to happen. So the parade got larger and larger until finally they reached Sheep's Meadow in Central Park.
Gay and Proud says, we don't give a damn what you think. We are gay and we are proud. And that just so well captured the attitudes of the time.
Can you tell me what you feel about the homophile movement?
I think it's great. I think it's really dynamite. And I think the only way to achieve it is through force and marches like this.
Not only did she have the foresight to come with a camera in order to record this immensely historic event, but she knew the importance of distributing it to people in other areas of the country who could perhaps gain some confidence and courage out of seeing what was happening in New York City. She made copies and sent it to gay bars and other groups who would then show the film, giving people a greater understanding of a movement that they were a part of and the courage to speak out and be more visible.
It really got the ball rolling. Anyone who saw Gay and Proud realized that these huge marches were possible, and you can do one in your city too. And slowly other groups began to have marches in their cities until now, when millions of people march around the country.
There was an understanding, particularly by Lilli, that when we were visible and vocal, we could make change. And through their courage, that began to happen.
My first thought on watching it is how similar it is to our parades now. And a lot of people wonder, what is the use of pride and why do we have pride parades? And I think this film reminds you that pride in every single pride march is an act of resistance. In 2013, the Mattachine Society of Washington, D.C. worked with Lilli to donate her materials to the Library of Congress. And so now anyone can view her films, look at her diaries, and see her history.
The fact that we have a copy today and that institutions like the Library of Congress have found this to be a remarkable piece of history and is preserving it for generations to come is a real statement of their understanding and all of our understanding of how movements for change work and how much a part of our country's history this struggle is and was.